The clapping needs to happen. Yay! Wait, hold on. We did it. We got it.
Yeah, we got it.
Well, we have to talk after the clap just a little
yeah.
bit to make sure that the words line up with
Okay.
our mouth faces.
We did it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Because a clap is a clap. Words and how your face moves is like a little bit more nuanced, I feel like.
Yeah.
Okay. Are you having a good time, Bubby?
He's going to tip that whole thing over.
He might. That's fine. Whatever. It's a thing full of toys,
I
so
love
that's
it.
what it's there for.
I know.
He has this little toy box. It's cool.
It's so cute.
I'm into it. Okie dokie, Smokey. I don't know why I said that.
I'm here for it. I'm ready.
I definitely feel like that's something my parents said.
I say okie dokie smoky.
Oh, okay, great.
On the reg.
On the reg?
Oh,
we're bringing out all sorts of fun stuff.
I don't like it.
I like it.
I didn't like it, Fred. I didn't like it.
And when you edit this one, I'm going to need you to leave this time in at the beginning.
Oh, boy.
So everyone gets to see.
Great.
Okay, let's do it for realsies.
Okay.
Hi, beautiful humans. I'm Kayla.
And I'm Ashley. Welcome to Your Soul. Welcome.
A podcast of belonging. Fred. A podcast of belonging for humans exploring their deepest hearts. Fred says, cue the intro.
Yeah, he does.
You're such a sweet Dorcas, Bubby. I know. You are so a star of the show.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you can be a star with us. Star quality.
He's got it.
Fred just wants to be in on the in, which is actually what we're talking about today, since we are speaking about, what did we title this? We titled it, How Do You Shift from Loneliness to Finding Your People?
Yes.
So it's an episode about community and that cultivating that feeling of belonging, which is why this is a podcast of belonging.
Yes.
So settle in. That's what we're talking about.
It's a big one.
Some days you feel like Sir Fred, where he just wants to be in the things, be in the places, belong. I know I definitely felt that way, like, in middle school. I probably had Fred's, like, happy-go-lucky, like, vibrancy, like, hi, I just want to belong, let me in.
Yeah, I love that.
Let me be with you.
Yeah.
Oh, you don't want me to be with you because I'm not cool? Oh.
Oh.
Cool. I'll just be over here drawing or writing.
Yeah.
By myself.
We talked about this just the other day.
Yeah?
You and I did. How we would have had so much fun at recess together just sitting by a tree.
We would have been the best of friends, sitting under the tree.
Sitting under a tree.
Yeah.
Just chatting instead of recessing.
Mm-hmm. Or making like little fairy villages and stuff out of sticks and leaves.
That was my favorite part of recess. We had this line of evergreen trees that like flanked our playground. It was like our barrier between the playground and the street.
Beautiful.
And they always trimmed them up so like you could go underneath, and it was like a little cave of like pine, like dried pine needles and pine cones and stuff.
Oh fuck, I would have loved
but
that.
Like nobody wanted to hang out in there. Everybody wanted to play like soccer and shit.
I mean, overrated.
Like not one time did I ever play soccer in my life, except for like in PE when we had to.
I really enjoyed playing soccer in PE.
Oh, that's great.
I was a little sad that like my parents wanted me to do softball because my dad went to college on a baseball scholarship, so I think it meant a lot to his little heart that we loved softball.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, softball is nice. I didn't not like it. I just really liked soccer.
Yeah.
I I just did the thing because
Yeah.
I was a people pleaser. I was a parent
Yes.
pleaser
Oh,
for
yeah.
sure.
I was that too. I really liked softball though. My parents did like softball, like
Mm-hmm.
for fun, like social
Oh,
for
cute.
fun.
I love
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
I always wondered why my dad didn't really do that very much.
Well, my parents did with like their friends and stuff. And like there was a lot of like late summer nights at the ball field. Everybody
That's cute.
hanging out, drinking beer and stuff.
Yeah.
Um
I would do that. If you ever want to start a softball league,
oh yeah.
I would join.
And I played softball for a while. I really liked to play softball.
Mhm.
And I was the catcher. And then one time I got aluminum bat to the knees.
No.
Oh yeah, real hard, real bad. And then
Mm.
I was fucking out of there. I was out.
Well, I mean, yeah, that sounds terrible.
And then I stopped playing
Oh,
because I was terrified.
I'm sorry.
But no, I really liked it though. I did
Mhm.
really like it.
Good. Yeah, I really enjoy. Like, I would play shortstop or second base. That was
Oh,
my
yeah.
fucking jam.
Yeah.
Shortstop was my favorite because I thought it sounded cooler than
Yeah.
second base because I was shortstop.
Yeah. Shortstop.
It just
is
sounded
neat.
like more elites.
Yeah,
To
yeah.
my
For sure.
middle school, high school mind.
Yeah. I could not like I would be in the outfield sometimes, but like I couldn't stay in the outfield because I would get distracted by like
The clover.
the clover and
The
the little
dandelions?
yes, I would get too distracted out there by all the little flowers and leaves and things.
And we
then
circle
I'd get in
back
trouble.
to just wanting to chill out in nature.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So I'm so glad that I found my people.
Yes. Well, we also agreed that we probably wouldn't have been ready to be friends with
Yes.
each other if we had met sooner.
So true.
We have both unpacked a whole load of stuff.
Yes. Yes.
But prior to meeting each other,
Yes.
which seems necessary.
Yes, for sure.
Because I feel like I wouldn't be as open as at discussing my like insecurities
Yes,
or vulnerabilities
same,
if I
same.
hadn't done all of that inner work first.
Absolutely.
Because you and I have had some vulnerable conversations about how this works.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
I hope you don't mind me bringing
No,
this
no,
up,
go
but
ahead.
even just the other day on Sunday,
Mhm.
we were chatting about bringing on like a third person to maybe do like
Yeah.
editing for the podcast, and you said, "Don't become best friends with them and cut me out."
Yeah. Yeah.
And like that took a lot of vulnerability
Yeah,
to share
yeah.
for sure, because we're all low-key afraid of that. I think that happened to probably many of us in
Mhm.
elementary school or middle school.
That also happened to me in adulthood too.
Mhm.
Like often, I feel like. So like I mean, and it happens, and it is what it is, but it
Mhm.
does hurt sometimes. And not that I
Well,
don't
yeah,
want you to like
yes.
grow and blossom and have other friends. I totally want you to have friends.
Samesies.
But like I feel like I just found you.
I know.
Yeah. So like, and it was more like continue to include me. You know what I mean? Like I want to
Yeah.
be included.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure is.
Because that feeling of exclusion is really a deep-seated hard feeling for me.
Mhm. Well, because it comes with fear that it'll happen.
Right.
It comes with shame because you feel ashamed that like you're not good enough
Right.
to have been included.
Yeah.
And there's just this deep, overwhelming longing to find your people, to
Right.
belong. I
Right.
think that goes all the way back to our primal lizard brain, where we needed to feel like we were a part of the tribe to feel safe.
Yes.
Because if you didn't have people around you, the odds of you dying were much higher back
Yes.
then.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think that's a really
Yeah.
evolutionary thing that's been hardwired into our bodies.
Yeah, that's a valid point.
Mm-hmm.
I often don't think of the logical things. Like
That's okay.
I don't think of those, you know what I mean?
Well, I mean, to be fair, I have studied
Yeah,
these.
that's true.
I have gotten 3 coaching certifications, so we have talked about some of this. And in fact, when I first got into coaching, I learned about that in just a free webinar that someone was offering.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, that one's
Yeah.
she stuck with me. Well, and one of my other best friends, Erin, and I would always talk about our lizard brains, like our primal, anxiety brain.
Yes.
We would call it our lizard brain. So when I heard about like the primal, like reptilian part of how we've evolved, I was like, yes, I've been talking about that for years, but I didn't know. I didn't have like legitimate words.
Yes. No, I like it. I like lizard brains. I like that.
It's 45 degrees at 10:45, just so that you guys know.
I love that.
The universe has been speaking to Ashley and I in numbers.
Very clearly and loudly.
So loud, and I'll take it.
Yes, for sure.
Also, to clarify, we asked for the universe to speak real loud to us, so
we didn't want to be missing any of the clues or the.
Well, I just figured if you were asking the universe to speak loud to you, I might as well hop on that train.
I just really wanted the signs to be clear. Because I feel like sometimes
the signier signs.
I did, yes. That was what I was gonna say. I feel like sometimes I'm like, universe, just give me a sign, and then like the sign will be real clear, and then I'm like, no, not that one. I need a signier sign,
like the meme you saw.
Yeah.
I think that's in the last episode.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's in the episode that's dropping this week.
Oh. Okay.
We're trying to work ahead of schedule.
We are.
Like really organized people who don't have to rush to get something edited.
Yes, we're trying.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of trying, we tried something new this past weekend.
We did, and it was delightful. Tell them all about it.
Hopefully, maybe you got to see us.
Because we did see some of you.
We did. We went out to an event and froze our little butts off, by the way. But it was so worth it.
Yeah, we did a meet and greet so that we could meet some of you guys, our listeners, and hopefully recruit new people to listen.
Yes, and it was so much fun. So much fun. Hello, Fred.
Hi, Fred. Are you angling for a spot? You are. Let's move the iPad. Yeah. You can come up here, Bubby. Yeah, you can come up, honey.
Oh my!
I know you're.
Fred likes to parkour.
Well, he's just a little long. He also doesn't like you to move him yet. We're working on that, familiarizing him with us moving him. Yeah, it's okay, buddy.
Oh, hi. Thank you. Oh no, that's not for eating.
We can't eat the microphone, Bubby. I'm so sorry, but you can snuggle. Yeah. Yeah. You want a toy? There you go, Bubs. So anyway, we did a meet and greet, and Fred, you're all over the place, buddy. You're so funny. I know.
Oh boy. No, thank you. I don't. Thank you.
Thanks for sticking with us while Fred doesn't quite know what his body does yet. He's not really aware of how long his legs are. I think my mic might be drifting.
Oh, Fred. Fred is a baby giraffe.
Fred kind of is a baby giraffe. He's weirdly long in places, and he doesn't really know what life is yet.
Baby. Oh my!
Frederick. Fredithus. All right, whatever. Are you okay with it?
Yeah, I think that's great. That's a good spot for him.
Good job, buddy. So anyway, it was so nice to meet some of you guys. A couple of you were like, I feel like I know you already, but we don't know each other yet. And that's how we want you to feel.
Absolutely.
That's so what we're hoping to cultivate with this podcast and you guys along for the ride with us.
This community, right?
Yes.
That's what we're doing.
And that's why we created a Patreon. Sorry.
No, it's totally fine.
Fred's tail is
vicious.
It's a lot. That's why we created a Patreon right away so that we can grow the community in a really safe way, because I
Mhm.
know that comments on the internet aren't always fun to hear, because some
Right.
people are mean. Like that song on TikTok right now.
Oh
If
my
I were a
gosh.
fish, I'd want to catch me. And why is
Yes.
the internet so mean?
They're releasing it, actually, the cute little duo. They're gonna release it on iTunes.
I love that for
Yes.
them. I will follow them on
Yes.
Spotify.
It's so cute.
I love that.
Little Frederick.
So yeah, if you were a fish in the sea, I'd pick you.
I'd pick you.
I'd swim along with you.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Cause gosh, dingy darn dang it. Life is too short to spend alone.
That's so true.
And I know not everyone feels like confident enough or cozy enough creating community,
Right.
like on their own.
Yeah.
So it's up to the open-hearted gatherers, the people who are good at bringing people together to
Right.
do that. And seeing as how I was raised to talk to everyone and be polite to everyone, even
Right.
though I was for sure an introvert. I was taught this skill set, and
There you
so
go.
I may as well utilize it.
There you go. I was not taught this as a skill set.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think I just developed it.
I love that for you.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I say taught, but like a lot of it was just watching my dad and watching my mom and how they interacted with people.
Here you go, Fred.
Here you go, buddy. Because my dad can talk to anyone about anything, and he's so good at asking them about their lives.
Yeah.
Like even now, post-stroke, he's excellent at that.
Yeah.
You are getting full Fred behind
I'm totally, it's good. I'm good with
Okay.
it.
Great. I don't know that he...
I was missing Fred.
Wow. He's easy to miss. He's so sweet.
He is.
So
Fred is just making sure that I'm getting all of my...
No.
Oh my. Getting all the extra dog love that I've been missing.
We're going to put a shelf up there, buddy. That's the plan, and I'm going to need you to not eat it. Yeah.
He says...
And so my dad was always good about talking
Mhm.
to everyone.
Yes.
And my mom was always good about like greeting everyone. She thought that was super important.
Mhm.
And making sure that everybody felt like they had a moment of your attention.
Yeah.
And
Excuse me, that's my coffee.
so I think that they really were skills that I learned
Mhm.
just sort of through observation. And then it was a little bit more overt. Like my mom would, no, we can't eat her or her coffee.
Sorry, Fred.
I know. Did you get it?
Yep.
Good job. I'm just here picking up dog toys with my toes.
Talent.
I told Fred that he'd be really good practice if Carrie and I can have kids.
Yes. He is definitely in his toddler phase.
For sure.
Mhm.
So then my parents would make like little side comments about how it's important to greet everyone, or isn't it nice like how that person got to share their story or whatever.
Right.
So I think it was much more organically taught as a skill set, but it was certainly something that I learned.
Yeah. I like that. My dad is also real good at talking to people. He is a salesman after all. So
true.
There's some schmooze there, but so
charisma.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the charisma. The charisma is high. For sure. And that is what I always like try to remind myself of, is like using the schmooze. I call it schmooze. I don't know.
Schmooze makes me think of like a negative connotation. Like it's like trying to like ingratiate yourself with someone for your own intentions.
He is a salesman. So
there's a way to sell without being schmoozy, I feel like.
Yeah.
And maybe it's just me and my connotation about the word schmooze. I'm not trying to like put anything
no,
on your dad or anything.
I totally get what you're saying. It's just it's just really clear because I can see it in my dad. You know what I mean? Like I see my dad at home. I see my dad, oh, you got something to crunch. Like, I see my dad at home, I see my dad around, like, me growing up and stuff is definitely one. Yep. Part of a squeaker that no longer
Frederick.
exists.
You're a lot, buddy.
But he is not that way, once the phone rings and he's trying to make a sale or something, or when he's talking to somebody business related, it is much more, and it's not to the point, it's not whatever. He is very personable. He is very talking to them about their lives and their family and
Mm-hmm.
you know what I mean? It's not I don't see it as a bad thing either.
Okay, great.
I can totally see how people could wield it in a negative way.
And maybe I'm jaded because when I went through my coaching training, they taught me neuro-linguistic programming, and it was very much taught in a, like, white male, here's how you use this for sales, like, here's how you get the sale with using this tactic. And I very much disagree with using neuro-linguistic programming for manipulative purposes.
Yeah.
Because it's far too easily fucking done.
Yeah.
Every advertising company fucking does it.
Yeah.
And I am not here for that.
Yeah.
I don't know that the people on YouTube are here for watching you lick yourself, buddy. Yeah, I'm totally.
But like, and it's just it's just naturally him. And he learned it from my grandpa, who was a phenomenal salesman, who just learned it. Like, it's just like in their, you know what I mean? Like, it's just innately part of their charisma, part of who they are.
For sure.
And so watching that and being around that, and I think also having that part of that in me. But I'm also very much a people person. So I'm drawn to people. I want to be around people. I thrive in that environment, in those communities, interacting with people, connecting with people, not just interacting with people, but connecting with people.
Yes.
And
I think that's why we had so much fun on Sunday, connecting with people.
Yes, I think so.
Although before we move on to that, I do want to issue an official apology to Fred because I called him a lot, and I don't know if the mic picked that up, but I felt bad as soon as I said it. I don't want to go find less. I want his version of a lot.
Yes.
So it's important to apologize when you speak things that when you listen back to them, you're like, kind of wish I hadn't said that.
Well, he could be a lot, and you can still love all of that.
Yes. And if Fredo is training wheels for the day that I one day perhaps have children, then I don't want to say that to a human who can understand it. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because no child needs that narrative that they're a lot. No human needs that narrative that they're a lot.
Right.
If you think that you're a lot, you're welcome here. Like, you're welcome here.
Also, if somebody says that you are a lot, that doesn't necessarily mean a bad thing.
No, it's not a bad thing. And I know that the typical response on the internet is then go find less. Like, I'm not going to change who I am.
Yeah.
So,
like, you can be a lot. I'm a lot.
But energetically, I didn't want my Fred to feel like I didn't love him. I love him. Okay. The other thing I wanted to mention before we move on is that I saw that little charm on your necklace that says, doesn't it say go live your dream?
Live your dream. Yes.
And I just wanted to compliment it, but I didn't.
Thank you.
It was like a literal shiny object. I was like, yes. Yes.
Right there with my little citrine that my beautiful friend Janelle hand wrapped.
What's the citrine bringing you today?
Fred, that's mine.
Fred, you can't bite things.
You can't have that pillow. I'm sitting on it.
No, Fred.
But you can have this instead. How about this? Yeah,
He
that's
does
for
love
you.
a good alternative.
Yes. Oh boy. Oh, I just sounded legit like Mickey Mouse.
Oh boy!
Oh boy. Oh. I'm real excited about that. That was some real good Mickey Mouse I just did.
So from now on, we're gonna do the entire podcast in Mickey Mouse voice.
No thanks.
No?
No.
You don't think our listeners want that?
I don't think I want that.
I also that would be really hard to upkeep, to be honest with you.
Anyways, my citrine today is just, I'm not sure what it's just, it wanted out today.
You know what? I love that.
Yeah.
Okay, now you're getting a little.
Fred's a cat. Oh, a
Fred
real
is
big
something.
cat.
Yeah, thanks
Sorry
for sticking
about
with us.
that,
This
boys.
episode is a whole lot of Fred today. All right, there we go, buddy.
Fred's new and a puppy.
He's learning. He's 9,000 times better
He
at
is
listening now than
so
he
smart.
was 2 weeks ago. He's very smart.
Where'd the iPad go?
Oh, it's over by me.
Okay, great. Just checking.
It's fully out of where Fred is.
Good deal.
So anyway, so Sunday was so much fun to meet and greet and talk to people, and it was a really beautiful example of what gets to happen when community is created.
Yes.
We got to have so many beautiful conversations with
Mhm.
people. One woman was telling us her journey with grief.
Yes.
And we were like, oh my gosh, how horrifying and beautiful at the same time, you
Yes.
know? And I think we asked her to come on the podcast sometime.
Yes. She makes beautiful cards too.
Yes. So it just was so nice to be out in the community enjoying no Fred. You cannot eat wires.
What
Did you grab that plastic thing?
Yes, he did.
Stop it. Give me it.
Goodness gracious,
My God.
Frederick.
Do you have no self-preservation?
Or
He's
chill.
like, no, I don't.
That's okay. Well,
He's got some chill. I was really hoping this would go so smoothly.
at last time it did.
When I'm working on my computer, Fred just chills out during the day. But evidently, Fred needs some love and activity, and that's okay. We're doing life together.
He's
and
a burrow baby.
That.
Oh, he wants to burrow. That's what Lucy does too.
Oh, that's cute.
He just wants
You have
to
to
burrow.
breathe too, buddy. You do. You have to breathe.
He just. He's a little burrow baby. So's my Lou.
No, you can't eat the blanket. I'm so sorry. I know you want to eat the blanket, but you can't eat the blanket.
Oh,
That was such a big sigh. I don't know if that picked up, but that was
He goes,
comical.
a whole sigh of resignation.
Love you, buddy.
Good boy.
So doing life together looks like
yes,
Fred.
We
on
gave
the
out.
podcast.
We were able to give out stickers. We passed out little like cards with our QR code for our link tree.
We have a link tree now, you guys. We'll make sure it's in the description so that you can find us on all of the socials. You can access our Patreon. You can see our email address where you can send in your stories.
Yeah.
Because we would love to cultivate and create community by sharing authentic stories of how you guys are experiencing your inner work journeys.
Yes.
So maybe it could be a story about what you've worked on in the past, what you're working on currently. Perhaps some sort of resolution to it that might help anyone else listening.
Mm-hmm. One of our listeners has already sent us her beautiful, touching, and
very heartfelt.
Yes, story.
I have not read it, Ashley.
We are processing on how we are going to share that story with everyone.
Because from what you said, it's a little heavy.
Well, it's I relate very heavily to her story.
Mm-hmm.
So
you need to be mentally prepared to read it.
Okay. I do.
Fair. So once we have like enough stories, we can do a story episode, and we would love to do that with you.
Yes.
And so that's kind of how we're creating community right now through the podcast, is really dialing in on talking to people
Mhm.
and having those conversations. So as conversational as we can make this podcast, that is our goal.
Yes.
So feel free to comment things down below. I know I've seen some like comments on YouTube where people who are watching just like stream of consciousness comment
Yes.
and then comment another thing and then
Yes.
comment another thing.
I love it.
So if you multi-comment just when things resonate with you while
Yes.
you're listening, that would be awesome, because then we can like come and like comment back with you, or you might be sharing the exact same thought that someone who's too shy to comment wanted to say,
Yes.
and they get to see that and feel validated. And how beautiful
Yeah.
is that?
That's great.
And if that doesn't resonate, that's why we're creating our Patreon, so
Yes.
that you can comment in a safer space.
Yes. So it's not public like
Yeah.
on Facebook. The things you post are not being shared outside of our Patreon.
Mhm.
It's just the people who are choosing to be there with you for the
Yes.
same reason. That's just the community there.
Mhm.
So
Which I'm really excited for that to
I
like
really am.
grow.
Yes, for sure.
But let's circle back if that's okay.
Just real quick.
Oh, for sure.
We really enjoyed going out into the community. We are going to be looking at trying to do more meetups locally.
Yes.
So we will be posting that on our social media pages
Mhm.
and things like that. So keep an eye out. And hopefully if you can come out and see us at one of those things one of these
Mhm.
days, we would love to meet you. So
Yeah.
please come out and visit us.
For sure.
Yeah, that's it.
Mhm.
That was the last little bit I was gonna.
Well, and maybe we could do
Happen.
like a Patreon meet and greet. Like once we get
Yes.
patrons inside of our
Yeah.
community, we could do one virtually there.
Yes. That would be fantastic.
Yeah.
Little Patreon party.
I was gonna say like just a public Zoom, and then I was like, anybody could come to that. They could be mean
Yeah.
to us. At the same time, anyone could come. If they live in our city, could come here. So,
Yeah.
you know.
I'm not afraid. I will
Cindy
stand
Vavra,
up.
my mom, just popped into my brain of like, be careful, be safe, be scared of strangers.
I'm not afraid.
That was really bold. I am afraid. And I'm doing it anyway.
I am 91% brave.
I love that for you.
Thank you.
I love that for you. Oh, hey, that leads really well into something that we have written down on our little outline.
This is my favorite thing that Kayla says to me sometimes.
So, well, and I heard it from my mentor, Ella Singh. She is a Kundalini yoga instructor and energy activator. She's fucking phenomenal. And what she says is that in order to be brave, in order to do the thing, to talk to the person that you've like wanted to ask out for coffee or whatever, to do anything where you're experiencing fear, you don't need your fear to go away to do the thing. I know that there are so many memes about doing it scared.
Right.
And Ella's perspective is that you only need to be 51% brave. Right? Like you only just need that like, not dominance. What is it? Where one thing is bigger than the other? Majority. Thank you.
You're welcome.
You just need that like 1% at least majority to do the thing and to feel good about having done the thing. Because I've done things scared and then like you have fear regret. Right? And if you can reach that point where you're just 51% good with it, then you're also 51% proud of the fact that you've done it.
Yeah.
So then most of you isn't kicking yourself, right? Because I know that tends to happen. I've experienced that. That's when I break out the peace talks method and bring those two parts of me that feel at odds together. There are links to the peace talks method in the description if you want to go see what that is. So doing things with bravery doesn't take all of you. You
Right.
can totally do things scared. It just takes that majority.
Yes.
I wanted to also circle back though to the truth of loneliness, because
Oh,
that was the
right.
first thing on our outline, and I feel like we talked about it a little bit
Vaguely,
about our
right.
like childhood selves,
Yeah.
but I don't want to do a disservice in validating anyone who's listening on
Right.
what loneliness can look like and feel like. I did find a very open-hearted poem that
Oh,
I would love to
yes.
read. He's
Yes.
by one of my favorite poets, John Rodel. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correct. It might be Rodell. Um, every time that man writes something, it feels like it's pulled straight out of my heart. He has a gift from the universe. Like he's channeling some shit
Oh,
when he
gosh.
writes, and it's every time I read something, I either feel like that squicky little feeling in your stomach where you're like, that I feel a little too seen,
Yeah.
or I get like goosebumps, or I just like full on cry.
Oh,
So
boy. So I haven't read this poem and I haven't heard it yet. So this is going to be my
also Ashley reacts.
authentic reaction.
Yes. So I don't think this has a title. Sometimes he titles them on his blog, but on Facebook he doesn't really.
Okay.
There is no pain quite like the deep ache that comes from feeling unseen by others. Being made to feel invisible by this world has us all turning into wandering ghosts. We bang on the walls of our haunted house lives and rattle our haunted house lives and rattle our chains to get the attention of anyone to listen to our howling hearts. But what happens if our planet becomes filled with nothing but wailing poltergeists who can't look past our pain to see one another? My love, during those times in our lives when it seems like nobody can actually see us, there are things we can do to become visible again. 1. Serving others will put some bones back under our phantom skin and give us some definition again. 2. Find or create a community of like-hearted other spirits to wander through this world together. 3. And if all else fails and you can't do either of those things, spend some time looking at yourself in front of a mirror with the kindest of eyes. If nobody can see you, at least you can see yourself for the miracle you are. When we practice self-love and honor every inch of our being, no matter the scars or blemishes we carry, we will start to see the outline of our souls start to take shape out of the fog we have been living in. When we place our fingers on the front pocket of our hearts to feel life coursing through our body, we will feel our previously unseen skin begin to glow in the dark. No, the world may not see us right now, but we can look at ourselves with the same loving eyes that creation does. And that's at least a start to how we begin to see, to how we begin to ignite so brightly once again, so that nobody can miss our incandescent hearts.
That is so good.
I know, right? Like, there is no pain quite like the deep ache that comes from feeling unseen by others.
No, there really isn't. It's at the top.
How do you feel?
Well, it was a little bit of a roller coaster there. That beginning was definitely had like that. I felt like, you know, the feeling like when you fall when you're a kid off something real high onto your back and like it just knocks the wind out of you.
Yes.
That feeling.
Ooh.
That first stanza there, where there's just like no air and you can't, and there's just like no air. But then as you kept reading, and it's like, but you can see yourself, and I was like, yeah, I can see me. And kind of talking through the things, and I was like, yeah, I feel like I've done those things. You know what I mean? Like, those are the things that, like, I have done for myself, or I have done for, well, yeah, for myself. Having been in that spot of, like, loneliness. Um, when I moved to Omaha, I don't know, like 8 years ago, I didn't have any real friends here besides, like, the few people that I knew in town, but I was real focused on being mom and the transition, and I didn't really have any community. I didn't have family, I didn't have friends. I was just so focused on being mom. And then I got a job as a teacher, and I'm sure you know, when you're teaching comes with friends.
An automatic community.
Yeah, well, not necessarily friends, but yes, an automatic community of
people who are in it together.
Yes.
I mean,
you have to, you are working together with people who have the same
we could also call it trauma bonding too.
Yes, trauma bonding
with
for
the
sure.
state of teaching.
That is a really valid point. That's a really valid point. We have these same goals of, like, we have to get these kids to the end of the year. We have to keep these kids safe in this
horrifying society where
yes, we are, you know what I mean?
Violence happens.
Yes, yeah. And, like, we are in it together. So it is just like this automatic
tight-knit community.
Yes. And then when you stop teaching,
it goes away.
Gone. Like, there are like a couple people that I still talk to via text off and on, but I don't see them much.
I understand that. There are quite a few people that I still see from teaching from my past job. But the sense of community is not the same.
Right.
It drastically changes when you leave to go to a different job or when you become a solo entrepreneur.
Yeah.
That was some of the loneliest times
Right.
in my life, were maybe like year 2 or year 3 of being an entrepreneur. Year 1, I was really reveling in like, I was overcoming burnout is what I was doing. So I was a little more self-involved. I didn't really pick my head up to look around me to see how lonely I felt.
Right.
I was able to ignore it because there were more pressing things to, like, decompress from.
Right, but you were also learning, right?
Yes.
So you had a different community.
You know what? You're right. I did. Yes. So yeah. After I got my certifications, it got lonelier.
Yeah.
Because those people who were going through the certifications with me, who we were practicing with each other and, like, talking from week to week, like, that started to disappear.
Right.
And I do have coaching friends.
Yeah.
And I've got a really great coaching friend, and we talk once a week, and it's amazing. It's not the same as being shoulder to shoulder with your fellow teachers, like, in the trenches of making sure that these tiny humans are okay and learning.
Right.
And it's more so than making sure that they're okay.
Yes.
That takes the most emotional burden.
It really does.
So I would just feel devastatingly lonely.
Right. Absolutely.
Like, even now, I recently made a post on my Facebook, which you can publicly follow me there. Like, you can click the little follow button and see what I write and how life is going even beyond this podcast. And it was about feeling lonely inside of my business because, yes, I have you. Right? Like, I've got Ashley. I've got this community that we're creating. I have several other entrepreneur friends who are also building businesses. I have my husband who's super supportive. And there's no one as into my business as I am.
Right.
And that is really hard for me sometimes.
Yeah.
Because when I was teaching, there were 20, 30, 40 people around me, even if they weren't in my subject. Like, if we widen it up to the whole staff that I worked with, it was like over 100 people.
Right.
who gave a shit in the same way I did.
Yes.
And I don't have that right now, and that feels particularly lonely.
Right.
Because when I ask you for help,
Mhm.
or I ask my husband for help, that's nice, and you guys help me,
Yes.
and I think that's really beautiful, and
Right.
I'm super grateful for it, and I also know that you're just helping me because you love me,
Right.
not because
Right.
you are so invested in what's happening.
Right.
And that feels really lonely to be the only one.
Yes. To be fair, I'm feeling a little bit defensive
That's fair.
just because I super totally believe in what you do.
Okay,
You know what I
that
mean?
makes me feel better.
Like, because I super totally do believe in what you do and, like,
Okay.
how much it makes a difference and, like,
that feels really nice to hear.
you know what I mean, though? Like, how important it is to the world and, like,
Yeah.
how much it can make a difference. And, like it is super important. And
Yay.
I definitely think it is important. And
Okay.
it is a very valuable thing in this
Thank
world
you.
and in this, and has a very important role.
Thanks.
You're
I feel like I'm
welcome.
gonna cry now.
Oh, well, that's okay too.
And maybe I just needed to hear it. Maybe
Okay.
that's what I needed to feel less lonely,
Yeah.
was to hear.
Yeah.
Maybe I just needed some words of affirmation up
Yes.
in here.
Yes. Maybe. And that's important too.
Because it's totally valid for you to feel defensive if I'm sitting over
Right.
here
Yeah. Right.
saying, like, nobody cares as much as I do. And
Right.
you're like, but wait, I do.
Yeah. Well, and maybe, and it's true. Maybe I don't care as much as you do because you made those things. You wrote those words, right?
I know.
They are from your mind and your body and your spirit. But I definitely believe that what you have to say and the things that you have created matter and help so many people. And
Thanks.
need to be out and exist in the world because they make a major difference.
Thank you.
You're
I think so
welcome.
too.
I really do. I really, really do.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
See, if we had met prior to this, you being defensive, I would have been like, oh God, no, like, I
Right,
can't.
right,
She's
right,
being defensive
right,
at me. I have to
right,
go hide.
Right, right,
You might not have been feeling
Right.
safe enough to tell me that you
right.
felt defensive.
Yeah. Yes. See? Very good point.
Yes.
Valid point.
So, fun fact, doing your own inner work makes you able to engage with each
Yes.
other better
Yes.
and more open-heartedly so that everyone understands what's happening.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's really important in
Yes.
creating relationships, is just trying to be as honest and open-hearted as possible.
Yeah.
Because otherwise you feel like you're constantly hiding.
Yes.
And that's no fun.
No fun.
Because I will call myself out. I was hiding for like fucking decades with my friends.
Yeah.
Only sharing with them things that like were vulnerable from the past and not vulnerable from right
Yes.
now.
Yes.
Like I would keep them at like a week's distance after
Yes.
I had at least a week to process my own
Yes.
vulnerability.
And fix it.
Yeah, and fix it.
Yeah.
So that there was a resolution.
Yes. You're like, oh my gosh, guys, guess what happened to me last week? I totally handled it, but
Yeah,
this
like,
thing,
I don't need you. Please don't come any closer than I'm allowing you to.
yeah, but this one thing was so stressful.
Yeah. So I was that version of
Yeah.
vulnerable, which, to be fair, is vulnerable.
Yes.
Like,
yes.
my friend Michelle called me out. She was like, I think you need to give yourself a little bit more grace
Yes.
here, Gayla.
Yes, for sure.
Because I definitely feel like you've been a vulnerable friend with us. And I was like, okay, thanks.
Yes, absolutely.
So there are layers of vulnerability, and wherever you are on your journey, that's beautiful. That
Mhm.
gets to be okay.
Yeah.
Self-acceptance of the now
Mhm.
is a large portion of how you get to grow your self-love.
Yes.
Because you get no other moment than the moment of now.
Mhm.
Like, even the moment where I started this sentence is already gone. I can't get it back. Like,
Right.
it's gone now.
Yep.
I always give myself goosebumps when I
I
talk like
know.
that. Ooh, it's 1, 1, 2, 3.
Yay.
All you have is the moment of now. And when you can anchor into that, you can't be any better or different than you are right now.
Right.
You just are now.
Yep.
And all you can do in the moment now is make decisions that could make it easier for future you.
Right.
30 seconds from now, Kayla.
Right.
10 minutes from now, Kayla. That's how I, honestly, actually, that's how I have started cleaning my house and like doing
Oh, yeah.
dishes, and was just thinking about how like tomorrow morning Kayla wants to walk into a clean living room, so let's set her up for success.
Yes. Yeah.
So honestly, it's more like choosing in the moment of now to do an act of self-love that will benefit me later.
Right.
And I don't know if that's helpful for me to like call that out, but maybe it is. Maybe that's helpful for you to be like, okay, fine. Maybe I don't want to do self-care for right now, but I can do self-care for future Kayla,
Right.
like future you. Maybe that's helpful. Because you can't, well, I mean, you can do self-love for past you. It's called inner child work, and it's
Yes.
very beautiful.
And I also watched a video from a wonderful therapist that I follow on one of the things that I follow. And he talks about how a lot of the times he goes in and does a lot of like inner child work,
Mhm.
but also how he will envision himself as an older person.
Oh, yes, I do that for sure.
Doing the, how he knows, he's aware that like he's doing a lot of work now, and how his older self will have done this work,
Mhm.
and his older self can look at him now like with compassion and like love, and just be so proud of the work that he's doing right now, and
Love
like
that.
how like validating and how just like affirming that can feel. Like, how will future you look back at the work you're doing today?
Mhm.
Like, and think
Future
about,
me is so proud of me as I'm thinking
yes,
about
like if you
this.
think about that, and I was like, wow, I had never thought about that, because I've done a lot of like inner child stuff, like where I'm like, oh, it's okay, like doing a lot of that,
Mhm.
but I had never thought about older me talking to current me.
Mhm.
But like, damn, she proud of me.
She's real proud of
She's
you.
so proud of me.
Because that's what gets to happen when you're doing the work.
Yes.
Because you're automatically creating a better life for your future.
Yes.
Which means that future you is so proud of you, you
Yes.
guys. Now I'm just thinking about everybody's future selves being proud of
Yes.
everyone.
It's great.
It's beautiful.
Yes. It is. It's beautiful.
Oh my god, it's so cute.
It is cute. I love
Oh, I
us.
can't deal with it.
I love us as little old people.
True.
It's so cute. I think our little old people would definitely be happy and proud of us for creating this community.
Oh, for sure.
Yes.
Oh my god, because wrinkly old us, like,
Yeah.
are probably still friends with
Oh,
people that
for
we
sure.
created in this community.
Yes.
Fuck yes!
Yes.
Lifelong friendships, doing life together, being back pocket besties.
Whoop, 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 whoop. Here's
I
the
was singing
sticker.
so high pitched. Fred looked up.
Here's our sticker.
Oh yes, back pocket besties.
I don't know if you
I
can
don't know
see
if
it.
that's showing.
I
up.
don't either.
The
but
camera's really far
it's
away.
real cute. Come meet us so you can have one. I'll give you one.
Yes, we ordered new one because we ran out of back pocket besties.
Did. Because they're so cute.
They're so cute. Did we say that we were going to do those for Patreon?
Sure. Yeah, we'll do them.
Okay, great. If you join our Patreon, you get a back pocket bestie sticker.
Yay.
Yay. So that's us talking about the truth of loneliness.
Yes.
It feels fucking terrible.
Yeah.
And sometimes you get so lost in your own loneliness that like you don't even see the truth of how some people are like with you, in it with you.
Yes.
Giving like really big fucks about what you give big fucks about.
Yeah.
It's easy to get lost in your loneliness.
Right.
And I think it's an important conversation to have so that you know that sometimes you're lost in your own loneliness.
Yeah.
And all it takes is perhaps a beautiful conversation with a friend to pull you out of it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes that loneliness feels comfortable. And
oh, yes.
And not comfortable in the way that like, oh, this is my coziest pair of PJs and it feels so good, right? It doesn't feel good. the loneliness doesn't feel good, but it's sometimes just what we know, or it's what we've experienced for so long.
It's a
And
part of your comfort zone.
right, it is more comfortable staying in that loneliness than it is reaching out, or than it is to decide to send the message and ask someone out for coffee.
How do you get from feeling like it's comfortable to doing the thing?
For me, I had to just decide that what I wanted was friendships. I just didn't want to keep doing it alone. I just didn't want to keep doing it alone. And with that, I can tell you the story about how I reached out to your girl over here.
So.
So Kayla and I have not known each other for very long. I know we've mentioned that a few times.
Yeah,
but
just December
Yeah.
2022.
Yeah, so like real new, like 5 months.
I feel like I've known you for like 5 lifetimes.
Yes, for sure. And that may be true, but in this one, only 5 months. But she was posting on Lit, just like her little rock star self.
Lit is a local to Omaha networking group for women that is rad AF.
Yes.
So if you're in Omaha and you're not a part of Lit, search it on Facebook.
Yeah, it's so great. And she was posting about some of her self-love things that she had going on, and her energy was just popping like it does.
Fuck yes,
And
it does.
I was like, I commented on one of them. I was like, I don't know, because it was December. And I was like, I don't know if I'm going to make it to any of your things before, the
end of the year.
The end of the year, or before the new year. But I really hope I get to, because your energy is just great, and I really want to meet you. And
I was like, oh my gosh, that's such a nice comment.
Yeah.
I hope you can make it.
Yeah, and it was great. And then she, like a week or something later, she posted another thing, and I was like, okay, I love it. I can't, I just can't. I was just felt so drawn by her energy, and I mean, that was it. I was just completely drawn in by her energy and her like positivity and the way she was talking, and I was like, okay, I apparently was feeling 51% brave. And so I sent her a message, and I was like, this might be weird, but I feel super pulled by your energy, and I think we could be really great friends. And do you want to meet for coffee sometime? Because I think you're super fun, and I think we could be friends. And I'm sorry if this is weird.
That was basically the message. So then on my side, receiving this, it was 4:44 p.m. that day. And I was logging into Facebook Messenger for a totally separate reason. But it was to like reach out to some other person that I thought would make a really good friend. So it was 4:44 when I logged in. And then I see that Ashley's message was sent to me at 3:33. And I was like, and I had been asking the universe for signs. Well, because an energy healer had told me that I was going to meet a soul twin, I forgot how he said it, but basically like a soul sister. And so I was on the lookout for like, who was going to be that? He was like, you're going to meet her in like the next 6 months or so. So for 6 months, I'm like, is it her? Is it her? Is it her? So when I saw that it was 4:44 and your message came in at 3:33, I was like, full body tingles. I think this is her. I'm getting the tingles again right now. And I was like, oh my gosh, let me tell you this story about how this dude told me I was going to meet someone, and here's the like timestamps, hopefully you don't think this is weird, but I think we should definitely meet for coffee.
Yes. And I got that message, and I was like, like, I'm pretty sure that was the noise I made at my house. And then I like read it to Lily because I was super jazzed about it. Lily is my daughter. And she was like, soul sisters much? And I was like, yeah. And so I messaged her back and I was like, I love that. Yes, I'm here for it.
And then our first date was like 9 hours long.
Yeah, we went.
I think it was only like 5, but it was definitely more than coffee.
We shut brunch down.
We did. It's 11:33.
Yay.
The TV is at a really prime spot for me to
It really is.
see the numbers right now today.
It's great.
So that is our origin story. And I think what can come from that tactically, like things that you guys might be able to like take home and use yourselves, is ask the universe if you want to be pointed in the direction of someone who's good for you, someone who feels like a good match, who's going to lift you up and cheer you on, and take the action that puts you in situations where you might be meeting those people. So like maybe you're going to networking groups or you're hanging out at coffee shops that are like local to your community where people kind of get to know each other, like the regulars get to know each other. Like go to local bookstores and like sit in the cafe or whatever, you know? Put yourself, tell the universe what you want. Put yourself in situations where it can arrive, be that on Facebook or in real actual places in your local community. And then when the universe gives you signs, like act upon them. Find your 51% bravery. Or if you're feeling 50-50, find that 1% that like tips you over. And the Peace Talks method can help you do that. It's basically my method for helping you to find peace between warring parts of you that feel like they're in opposition to each other. So again, that'll be linked down below. And if this is your first time listening, I'm a self-love mentor and coach. And well, I guess we mentioned that I got certified. So I'm not just like blowing smoke. It's a real thing that can help and it's very beneficial. And that can help you get that extra 1%, or I mean, I'll say it. It will give you like 100%.
Yeah.
Like you will feel in full alignment. It's fucking sexy as hell.
It's great.
So yeah, it's good stuff. And is there anything else like tactically that you think that we can say that helps to create community?
No, if you need a hype girl, I can do that. I can do that for you.
Hype.
Yeah. I like to hype people up.
You're really good at it.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
You're so welcome.
Oh, I love it.
We have on our outline also.
I don't know what that last bit's about.
Well, it says what true community feels like.
Oh.
Is what I wanted to say. But I was looking at our little timestamp and it says that we've been doing this for 7 hours. And that is not accurate.
No.
So I don't know why it says that.
Interesting. I don't either.
I mean, I try to keep an eye on how long our episodes are.
Yeah, well, this one's definitely not been 7 hours.
It has certainly not. Okay, but what true community feels like? It feels like kind of what we've been demonstrating today. It feels like being open-hearted. It feels like being safe to share who you are and what you're feeling. Because when I think about the people that I've met recently while networking, while telling the universe, yes, I want new people in my life, bring them to me, please, please, please. I've been creating community in ways that feel like that, where everybody has your best interest at heart.
Right.
If you're meeting someone and you get the vibe that they don't give a shit, then they probably don't.
Right.
And like, that's not the vibe of true community.
No.
And I'll put this addendum on there. Check in with yourself about whether you genuinely think they don't give a shit, or if that's a story you're telling yourself because you feel unworthy.
Yes.
If you know that you struggle with unworthiness, then ignore what I just said. Because or think critically about it.
Yes.
Think critically about what I just said. Because worthiness is one of the things that I most fucking certainly struggled with in the past.
Mhm.
And I uncovered deeper layers of my
Right.
unworthiness to heal every like 6 months or so. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, look, there's another layer of unworthiness to heal. Great.
Yeah.
So cultivate some awareness around that and try asking your unconscious mind, like, am I feeling this because it's true, or am I feeling this because I feel unworthy? And listen to that answer that pops up.
Yeah.
It'll be the correct one. It'll be the
Yeah.
instinctual one.
Yeah.
So I think that that can be an important aspect of creating your community, is keeping aware of what true community feels like and looks like, because
Mm.
especially coming out of an abusive relationship, I did not know
Mhm.
what a good relationship was supposed to feel like. It
Yeah.
was really hard for me to recalibrate. And it was a lot of me like spending 3 a.m. nights on Tumblr, like trying to discern how to not feel like shit anymore, like a depressed piece of shit who was thinking about, well, the most extreme version of what depressed people think about, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
so I was on Tumblr looking for help, which admittedly is not that's not the place to go seek professional help. But seeing things like worthiness messages
Right.
on the internet helped me realign what I was looking for.
Right.
People who made me feel good.
Mhm.
I looked really critically at what felt beautiful about my parents' relationship rather than just taking it for granted.
Mm.
Um yeah. So exposing yourself to outlets that share what goodness does feel like in a relationship, whether that's a friendship or a
Mhm.
romantic relationship, can be incredibly helpful. And again, seeking professional therapy can be incredibly helpful because your therapist can help you discern that.
Oh, absolutely.
I feel like I need to get back into therapy.
Hmm.
I'm on the fence about it right now.
Yeah.
I needed to stop for financial reasons because BetterHelp was a little spendy for what I wanted. And
Mhm.
then I emailed my therapist and she did not respond to me twice. So
I can give you the name of my therapist.
good to know.
I'm actually on my way out of therapy for a
Oh,
while, I think. Yeah.
okay. What do you mind sharing what's prompting that decision?
Well, I started with my therapist a long time ago,
Mm-hmm.
when I started DBT,
Mm-hmm.
and I went through DBT skills. I learned a lot about um, distress tolerance and emotion regulation
Mm-hmm.
and interpersonal communication, a lot of those things in just skills. And then I had stage 2 was like a process group where there are 2 therapists and a big group of people, and
Mm-hmm.
it's very like um, kind of like exposure therapy.
Sure.
Yeah. And then stage 3 was with just a group of peers who had been through those stages, and we just kind of keep each other accountable. And I did that, and I've still been in therapy, but things have just been going really well for me for a
Mm-hmm.
while. And I feel pretty good with being able to regulate my emotions and things like that. So I've just been feeling real good in emotionally.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I've been creating a real good community around myself. I've got a couple really solid friendships. Um, and so I feel real
Good.
good and solid right now. And we've fallen back to like every 6 weeks at this point. And like I go and we seem to like only talk about maybe one or two of the same things.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's just, at this point, I think we're going to meet in May and talk about maybe stopping for a while.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
I think that that's a lovely place to be in.
Yeah.
Because when I left therapy, like, it started as a financial decision. And
Yeah.
then when I went back and looked at all of my, like, goals that I set for therapy, I was
Mhm.
like, oh, check, check, check,
Yeah.
check, check,
Right.
check. Okay.
Right.
Like,
Yes.
let's move on
Yes,
then.
exactly.
I just know that the universe has been giving me a whole lot of, like, palindrome numbers that are the same forwards as they are backwards. And one of the meanings behind that can be to, like, start back at the beginning, like,
Mhm.
revisit where you came from. And when my therapist and I had been working with each other, we were talking mostly about, like, my trauma from my, like, abusive relationships.
Right.
And we didn't dig a whole lot into my childhood. And maybe it would be good if we do that. I just want to, here's the real reason.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe it's more of a logical one than a heartfelt one. I don't know.
Okay.
I have not done my inner work on seeing where this desire is coming from.
Yeah.
Is it coming from, like, my scared human? Is it coming from, like, my soul self? I don't know.
Right.
But I feel like I want to make sure that I'm doing my, like, due diligence of doing
Yeah.
the work.
Right.
I want to feel like I'm not sitting here on a podcast talking about doing the work while also ignoring a part of the work.
Right.
And it's 11:45 while we're talking about this. So anyway, I want to make sure that I am being the best me that I can be for myself, so that I feel like I'm being in integrity,
Mhm.
and for others, so that you guys feel like you are being back pocket besties with someone who knows what she's talking about. And that's where I see both my fear. I see it in what I'm saying,
Mhm.
that I want to be perceived well. So
Mhm.
that's my fear. And I want to make sure that I am doing well for myself. That's more like of, like, my altruistic soul self.
Yes.
And perhaps doing the peace talks method with myself on these two parts
Yes.
that feel separate ways. Or maybe because there's also a part of me that's just like, no, fuck it, I'm fine. Like, I got this on lock.
Right.
And having a conversation between all those parts feels like a good idea.
Yeah. That does seem like a good idea.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm at a place where I'm not, I mean, I'm not saying I'm done with therapy. I have conquered it.
Well, you're just at a
You know what I
place where
mean?
you can take a break from
Yes. Yeah. I'm at a place where I'm feeling real good with where I'm at currently.
it. Mm-hmm.
That does not mean something's not going to come up, or I might go back. You know what I mean? I'm sure at some point I will go back to therapy.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Therapy is fantastic and helpful and wonderful and necessary for so many things. So many things.
Mm-hmm. 1000%.
I just feel like I am in a really good spot right now, and I have worked really hard to get here, and I think I'm going to take some time and really feel in the moment.
I love that.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
That's what I'm excuse me. That's what I think I'm going to focus on for a bit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I like that.
Thanks.
I also know that I've been letting my husband listen to me a lot,
Okay.
which is very kind of him, that he's willing to, like, be a sounding board and have conversations with me where I'm sobbing. But, like, that's not necessarily his job, right? Like, that is often the job of a therapist, right? That you hire and pay money to. And then I can be a happier partner for my husband. To clarify, he has zero problem doing this. This is all me saying things. Carrie is like the most supportive man I've ever met on the face of the planet. So I'm very lucky to have him, and he would never be like, you need to go back to therapy. I'm done talking with you about this.
Can I say something?
Yes.
I feel like you want to go back to therapy, and I feel like you are trying to justify it to yourself in 1,000 different ways. And I don't think you need to do that, Kayla.
Well, I'll just be here being seen as heck. Therapy's nice, you guys.
It's
You're
so
right.
nice.
It just is nice.
Yeah.
Thanks for being a mirror for me.
You're welcome.
Because you're right. I am. I just...
Like, sometimes we just... It is just nice. Like, it's...
guilt-free.
Yeah. Like, therapy
Like, you're
is just
paying.
helpful.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's helpful.
Like, you're paying someone to listen to you.
And help you sometimes.
And help me.
Yeah.
Although, I will say, with my last therapist, I was mostly helping myself.
Yeah.
She was...
And that's helpful, too.
I think it was a really easy client.
Yeah. Well, you've got a lot of...
Tools and
already, yeah. But, like, if you're talking about, like, wanting to go more into deep stuff, you know what I mean? Like, you can look into somebody who can help you with, like, brain spotting or doing some EMDR, doing some of those more deeper level things.
But if I do it, then I have to see it. I have to witness my trauma with my own eyeballs.
But you can ride the train. You can do that from the safety of your train.
What if I want to ignore it?
Well, what is that saying?
That I'm avoidant, which I already knew.
Yeah.
You guys, I have an avoidant attachment style. Fun fact. I took a quiz. It's real.
I have an anxious attachment style.
I think it's called anxious avoidant.
Oh.
The quiz that I took put them together.
Oh. Well, there's avoidant.
Oh.
And there is anxious.
That's interesting that the quiz that I took put them as the same thing. Well, anyway, I know that I'm avoidant. That is, if fight, flight, and freeze are options, I will freeze. And I will not deal with it.
I'm a fighter.
Well, that came in very handy when Fred ruined my bathroom.
I'm just glad I could help.
I was very grateful. For those of you who don't know, Fred decided...
He
Fred
scared.
didn't decide. Fred was
He
traumatized
was
by his past owners somehow.
Yeah.
And we didn't know that he had separation anxiety. No one told us that. So I left him for the first time for a couple of hours after doing proper, like, I did kennel training, but with our bathroom rather than like a kennel. So I was like putting treats in there and making it a happy place and like practicing closing the door for periods of time. Like, I thought that I was doing all the right things, which I was.
Yep.
And his separation anxiety caused him to rip up my carpet and rip up the carpet pad and tear apart the blinds. And it was...
Pull the wires out of the lights.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Destroy a plant.
He did not eat anything.
No, he didn't.
Fucking goodness.
Yeah.
We found all the parts and pieces of everything. But he just tore it apart. And I, again, am freeze. I was like, I don't even know where to start. Like, I don't know what to fucking do. And Ashley had just dropped me off. And so I called her. I was like, this is worse than I ever imagined. Because we had been joking about, like, how I had left the toilet paper down. And I was like, oh, I bet it'll be unspooled or torn apart.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. So she called me and she was like,
Horrifying.
it's worse than I imagined. And I was like, do you want me to come back? And she's like, I don't know. And I was like, all right, I'm coming back.
Hey, I said yes.
No, you didn't. No, you didn't. No, I was like, do you want me to come back? And she's like, I don't know. And I was like, okay, I'm coming back. And you're like, okay.
Wait, I didn't. I was giving myself credit for saying yes, but I didn't. I didn't do anything. I just literally waited until she got here.
It's okay. It's okay. It was a lot. It really was. It was intense. It really was.
It was more than I was expecting.
It was more than I was expecting as well.
So,
but we handled it.
We did. So anyway, I know that I'm avoidant because my system freezes.
Yeah.
And I'll just side-eye something and ignore it for as long as possible until I get this feeling in my body of fuck it, no, we're done. Like, I cannot live this way anymore. And it's a whole body feeling. I didn't know that it was until quite recently, but it's very much it's where like anxiety sits in my chest.
Mm-hmm.
And then at some point it gets lower in like my belly and root chakra. And I've been practicing this energy work tactic actually of when I know that something needs done, but I'm not willing to act on it yet,
Mm-hmm.
on recalling a situation that makes me feel that in my body, whatever situation I'm thinking about that I know needs dealt with, but I know that I'm avoiding.
Mm-hmm.
And then I bring in like universal energy and I let that energy just kind of like a French press, right? If you know how this
Ooh.
works, just envisioning like the light of the universe coming through and any energy that I'm feeling just gets pushed down and pushed down and pushed down until it gets to my root chakra. And then I like let the energy of the universe, I call it the energy of love, just kind of seal it in to my 451154.
Wow.
Love that. Total palindrome.
Also, that's beautiful.
That is beautiful.
There's just a whole thing on the TV, guys.
Yeah, sorry.
gorgeous.
It's fine. You guys signed up for a distracted podcast. So here we go. And so then I just kind of like seal it in lower. And that helps me be less avoidant. It helps me take action because my energy, my feelings about it
Mhm.
have been pushed to the place where I feel like I'm ready to take action. And I don't know if that's how it feels for everyone. But if you pay attention to like where you feel energy in your body when you're not ready for something and where you feel energy in your body where you are, like, of course you're going to do something about it. Try seeing if you can like push your energy in different directions.
Yeah, because that made me feel like I am a carbonated soda that is about to explode.
Oh, okay. Cool.
But I am not based out of my root chakra,
Where are you based out of?
my heart chakra.
Okay. Fair. I just know I've done a lot of work with my root chakra through Kundalini. So that's awakening your Kundalini is all about like activating your root chakra. So that's like where all of my magic happens.
Oh, cool.
Mm-hmm. So anyway, it might be different for you. Pay attention to the feelings in your body, and that can be super helpful.
Yeah, that's neat.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I
mine's
play
my
with
heart.
energy.
Mine's my heart.
I love that for you. I'm working on opening my heart chakra, and it's been a wild ride so far in 2023.
I love that.
Well, I decided that 2023, I don't like picking a word necessarily because I don't know that that does anything for me. But I picked a feeling that I wanted to cultivate.
Okay.
And that was the feeling of being open-hearted. And I'm glad that I picked it because there have been many trials and tribulations along the way. But one of them gets to be being open-hearted here on this podcast.
Yes.
And that's fucking cool. So I'll take it.
I love that.
I will take it.
My word is connection.
Oh,
and
you're doing so
connecting.
good at that.
Thanks. I'm really trying. Like I say, I'm really trying, but I'm not like trying. Like it's just happening.
Well, because you're putting yourself into situations where you can receive it.
Because I want it. Because I want it.
Yeah. Put yourself in situations where you can receive.
Yeah.
And those of you who are people pleasers and not used to receiving, first practice the art of receiving. It can be little things first.
Yes.
Like, I am going to receive these 5 minutes to myself.
Or first, start by expressing gratitude.
Yes,
right?
That's a beautiful thing.
Like, notice when things are happening.
Yeah.
Like,
notice how you have already received. That's such a
yes,
good point.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, I love Luba's example. My friend Luba, who works her art studio down in Papillion. I love it. Artsy Creations. Love it. Gratitude art journaling on Mondays. If you want to join us, it's fantastic. It's my favorite part of Mondays. Like expressing gratitude when you get a super great parking spot.
Whoop, whoop.
Yes.
Oh my God. I just had the biggest like expulsion of stale old energy this morning when I was practicing gratitude.
Yeah.
Which I thought of Luba because Luba is now branded in my mind as like gratitude queen.
Yes.
But I had also read in a post on Facebook that things start opening up in the universe, possibilities start popping for you when you are in the energy of appreciation.
Mm-hmm.
And then the post went beyond that to say that the ultimate appreciation is appreciation for self, because it also subscribes to the ideal of like universal connectivity. Are you eating a cord? God, snickerdoodle Fred. No.
Oh man.
Fuck, he just did it to Carrie's cord. You're
Frederick.
That's bad, buddy.
You're gonna get zapped right in the mouth and it's gonna hurt.
Bubby, you cannot do that. Anyway, according to the laws, sorry if the audio is weird because I'm leaning weird. According to the laws of universal oneness, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we are all one. So therefore, self-appreciation not only cultivates appreciation for you in your human life now. Was that an angry yawn? Because I stopped you from eating the wire, buddy.
It was so cute, though.
Fred doesn't understand electricity. We're working on that so that he is a safe puppy and not a dead puppy. Also, sorry, I talked about dead puppies now on the podcast.
My puppy just died.
Now I feel like a real a-hole. Sorry.
It's okay.
I love you.
I have to go pick her up today.
Oh, God.
Oh, man.
I don't know how to deal with that, so I'll
okay.
just be here.
I gotta go pick up Piper. It's okay. It's okay. This is real.
It is
real.
Real life happens.
Real life happens. Oneness. Continue.
Universal oneness. So when you are loving yourself, you are also loving all that is. And so I was doing my mirror work on my toilet as per usual, because that's where I decided that I am alone and stationary.
Yeah, love it.
And I was like, okay, I'll add, I appreciate myself in always. And I just started retching, which is my body's favorite way to like get stale energy out, or energy that no longer needs to be there, that has been held from goodness only knows what. Yawning is another way.
Yeah, that's mine. I just yawn. Oh my goodness.
Yawning is good. Sometimes when I'm doing like really specific, like a Kundalini activation for myself, yawning has been a big way that I've been expelling energy. But it was retching. That's my go-to. So anyway, as I was saying this to myself, almost all of my affirmations that I was saying into the mirror was like causing more to come up. Like I almost actually vomited. I had to like,
oh no,
like clap my hand to my face and like stop to make sure that I like kept it all down.
Oh no,
I don't need actual purging to occur.
Yeah,
that's not what I want.
Right. Oh,
so
man.
Anyway, practicing self-appreciation, practicing mirror work in general is a beautiful way to go about preparing yourself to receive.
Yes.
Because like that poem said, you can see yourself first. You can receive from you first. Or second. It doesn't have to happen in that order, just so that we're clear. I very much don't subscribe to the, well, how can you be loved if you don't love yourself?
No.
Like, fuck that.
No.
Fuck that so hard.
Yeah.
Because I was absolutely loved by people in my life before I loved myself.
Yes.
So, stop that.
Yes.
Stop that whole theory.
Everybody deserves love.
Yes. And you can absolutely be loved before you love yourself.
Yes.
Now, does loving yourself open you up to receiving more love?
Yes.
For sure.
Yes.
Does loving yourself open yourself up to, I don't trust you around here now, buddy. I'm so sorry.
Frederick.
Okay. No cords are within reach. Cool. I shall be the barrier. does loving yourself open yourself up to, what was the second thing I was going to say? It was receiving love from others. Oh, and also expressing a wider range of love for others. Like you are able to express love
Yes.
more,
Yes.
which is beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
But like also that can happen prior.
Yes.
So fuck that meme, yo.
For sure. Everybody deserves love.
Mm-hmm.
For sure.
Yeah. Well, I feel we talked out our whole outline.
Yeah.
I hope you guys feel in a good place about shifting from feeling lonely into feeling like you can create a community or be a part of a community.
Yeah. And I also want to say that sometimes it will happen where you have a fantastic community around you and you will still sometimes feel lonely.
Oh, for sure.
And that happens, and that's okay.
Mm-hmm. Because even when, like, we began this conversation and I mentioned that Ashley said, hey, be sure you don't cut me out, man. Make sure to keep me in the loop. Like, I'll be honest, I was feeling the same feelings watching Ashley, like, form beautiful new friendships with people like Luba and Rosa and so many of the people that we've met.
Yeah.
I got those feelings of like, oh my God, what if she's better friends with them than she is with me? And the whole comparison game. And it's an easy thing to fall into.
Yeah.
And you can choose to unsubscribe from that.
Yeah.
You can choose to wrap your arms around yourself and say, I see you feelings of being left out. I see you feelings of loneliness. And I choose to accept you. I choose to love you. I choose to love me and have my own back.
For sure.
Yeah.
And when you have that sense of community too, and when it's that true community or whatever, you can say those things to your friend like, hey, don't leave me out.
Don't leave me behind.
Yes.
Yeah, that's valid. That's beautiful. The more open-hearted we can be is the more open-hearted we can show you to be.
Right.
And the more open-hearted you are is the more open-hearted you can show people around you to be.
Yes.
And eventually everyone everywhere will be open-hearted and full of self-love and my mission will be complete. I have really lofty goals, you guys, and it's for everyone to love themselves.
Yay!
Because just imagine a world where people don't hate on each other because they love themselves. I am a firm believer that people hate other people because they hate themselves first, and it's real sad.
Yes.
It's real sad.
It's so sad. So yeah.
Join the revolution.
Viva
love yourself!
Viva la revolution!
Viva la revolution! Everyone who speaks French is like, why have you done this?
Yeah.
That's French, right? Yeah.
Oui. Pardon.
Oui. You at least took French. I took Latin.
Je parle un peu de français.
That sounds really alluring. Fuck's French sounds sexy as hell. It just does.
Je n'ai pas de pantalons.
Something about your pants or underwear.
It's pants. First I said I speak a little French, and then I said I do not have any pants. And on that note,
fact, she does in fact have pants.
I do.
We will see you guys next week. We love you so freaking much. Love you, bye.
Love you, bye.